Hey, Nicole. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Hey, Eric, where's your green? Is it your
Well, you
shirt?
can't tell, but this is
Oh, okay.
green.
There you
It's
go.
like
See,
a
we
key
both,
lime.
yeah, we both have like a very, very soft green. No Kelly green for us.
Yeah, no, yeah, we're not Kelly Green. We're not showing our true Irish colors. But green
Maybe that's
nonetheless.
because I don't have Irish in me. I don't know.
Well, you've got like green eyes, don't you?
Like blue green, depending on what I'm wearing.
You're Irish
That
every day.
works. I'm always in.
Yeah,
I'm always in vogue for Patty's Day, which is a
for St. Patrick's.
Friday. St. Patrick's Day is a Friday.
Isn't that great? Are you going out drinking?
Yeah,
No, you're
right.
not.
No, my son has
Hmm.
a lacrosse game tonight. My daughter has lacrosse practice, and so I'm juggling everything with the baby.
Holy smokes. And this was like the hardest thing to schedule, wasn't it?
It's, you know what? It's a good thing we're getting busier, right? We're getting busier. I feel
Yeah.
bad for Mr. Producer having to wrangle us because we are really impossible. We're like bad kids that doesn't
I think we
listen.
frustrated Mr. Producer.
we we're like given a deadline and an assignment and we're totally getting F's every time. I don't know.
I think season 2 will have this lockdown and we'll be more on schedule and we won't have to spend 10 minutes talking about how we how it was so hard to schedule our next podcast. But
That's right.
I can sympathize with you. I know right before you got on, you were talking about how hard it is to get sleep with a newborn, and it just makes me wonder, how do you do all of this as the super mom that you are, going to lacrosse practice, taking care of a newborn, and be an incredible listing agent all at the same time? How do you make it
I
work?
don't know. 1 minute at a time. I don't always make it work. I mean, I and luckily she is 6 months old. We've got a little routine. She's got some nap time. I do have help. But the evenings are hard. She's just kind of waking up a lot, teething. So, just figuring it out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's not the first time you had a child and had a job. So I'm sure you've been able to navigate it in the past. Um, is this the toughest? That's a tough question. Um, was the transition easier when you were doing something else? I shouldn't call it transition. Was the
Yeah,
work life
the
time easier when
balance.
you were doing something else?
So I Oh, sorry. I think I hit mute. In prior times, I worked from home, right? I had a home-based daycare. So in that way, it was easier. But I also had I had younger kids that were all close in age, right? That all had needs. Like right now, I only have one baby that needs me 24/7, and the rest are pretty independent. So that's nice. But definitely it's a new experience. You're a realtor, you're on 24/7 too, it feels like. We need boundaries, Eric. I don't have boundaries.
We don't have boundaries. And you know what? We also need to stick to a script. We
Yes.
have boundaries and we need to stick to a script. And you know what I just realized?
Let's do it. let's let's get into it
We didn't
officially,
welcome
Eric.
anybody.
Let's do
Welcome to the
it.
Real Agents Podcast, a weekly podcast where our mission, should we choose to accept it, is to talk about real estate and life and everything in between. So if you like your insights and your advice shaken and not stirred, well, then this is the podcast for you. That's Nicole Dash.
And that's Eric Harrington. And we are the
The
real
Real
agent.
Agents.
Good.
Wow, we were only like 8 minutes into the podcast before we did that. That was
It's all
perfect.
right. It's okay. Lack of
I know.
sleep, weird time on a Friday, St. Patty's Day. It's good.
I actually it is St. Patrick's Day. I have not been drinking yet, but I probably will have an adult beverage later. But I can sympathize with you with not having slept. I don't know if it's just because I've been so busy, but not getting to bed before 12:30 kind of thing, I think for the last week. And I know I had nightmares over the last 2 days, but I couldn't tell you what they were. Like I just woke up kind of like, well, that sucked. Have you ever had that where you know you had a bad dream, but you don't know what it was or what it was about?
Yeah, so yesterday I took a nap. I don't normally take naps, but yesterday the baby was napping, so I napped. It was an afternoon. It was like 4 to 6 or something. It was crazy like that.
Yeah.
So I had the phone next to me because the phone is the monitor,
Yeah.
and I had it, and she was in her crib, and I must have been sleeping because I swear in my dream I heard clear as day someone say my favorite color is blue from the monitor. And in my dream, I was like, what happened? Who is that? And then I woke up and I realized it was just a dream. I was like, I'm having sensory issues in my dream. So I don't know. That just shows how tired I am.
Totally get it. So the other day it was for me, I was up late working on something, and no, I didn't get to bed till like 1:30, and couldn't go right to sleep. So I did that stupid thing where I was on my phone playing Sudoku, because I can use that to kind of like just kind of shut my brain off. I know that sounds weird that I'm doing like a math game to shut my brain off, but it's almost like, I can not focus on anything but stupid numbers, and ultimately I fall asleep with my phone in my hand, right?
I do it with solitaire.
Yeah, well, there you go. You get it. You get
Same
it. All
thing.
right. So I'm doing that, and it was like weird. Like I had the phone in my hand, but I had my hand back here, right? I don't know how, but anyway, I fell asleep, and I remember having a dream that I know is a nightmare, where I was like tied up, you know, and I don't remember any of the context or anything other than when I woke up, my arm was still back behind my head, and I had all this drool hanging out. And I remember just thinking, oh my God, what happened to me in the middle of the night that I'm wrapped up in this pretzel? And yeah, it was like I woke up needing a nap, which was it was horrible.
That's terrible. That's terrible sleep. So, I mean, I think part of the reason we're so tired, right, is because we're having a great busy spring, right, in the real estate
Yes.
market, which is good. That's great for our profession.
It's
We want to
great.
be busy. We don't want to be sitting there looking at the phone, hoping someone's going to call us. We want to be
Yep.
working with clients and growing our businesses and helping as many people as possible. So that's all positive side of lack of sleep. What do you
That
think?
is a super duper plus. Yes, I have had multiple showings every day this week, and actually had a couple of closings, which is always great. And that is one of the topics I wanted to pick your brain on. Um, yeah, so let's just jump into it.
Do it. Yeah.
I closed with this beautiful family, a really wonderful house in Burke. A gorgeous $1.2 million house. And just to back up a little bit, this is a military couple that, the husband was the active duty member, and he's retiring this year. And we initially started our search at $800,000.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And we looked at a lot of homes. We kissed a lot of frogs in that $800,000 price point. And they just determined that, yeah, that wasn't going to cut it. Anything at that price point, you were paying you know, close to 900, maybe even over 900. And they just weren't seeing the value in it. So we pushed the search up and ended up finding something in Burke for $1.2 million that they fell in love with. And we competed, but we didn't compete with 10 offers. We competed with 3 offers. And we didn't have to do anything too crazy in order to win, other than just put, a really strong offer together. But everything went great. It was wonderful. They're lovely people, and I wanted to get them something like really nice as a closing gift, like just not the normal everyday, either bottle of champagne or a bottle of wine or something like that. And knowing that they have 3 daughters, and from one of the conversations they talked about how they like to cook, so I went ahead and got them a waffle iron. And
Oh,
not the cheap
cool.
kind either. Like
Yeah.
I went to William and Sonoma, and I spent more than I ever thought you could spend on a waffle iron. But it was great. Got the waffle mix, got the the maple syrup that I think came right from a tree in Canada, and they bottled it up and sent it out,
They tapped it for
and
you.
they loved it. They thought it was great. And that just got me thinking about gifts. Like, I got to step up my closing gift giving. And I don't know, as a listing agent, do you do something special for your clients when they close?
So it's so interesting because there's a big difference between gifts that are appropriate for the listing side versus the buying side, because a lot of my clients are purging as much as they can. They're downsizing or they're moving to another state. They're like, in order to prepare to sell, they were putting things in storage. They were just clearing it all out. So for me to buy them some tchotchke or some like little
Yeah.
something, right? Some other thing to add to it, a lot of times it doesn't feel appropriate.
Yeah.
And
It's
so,
counterproductive.
yeah,
Yeah.
it just doesn't. And so a lot of times, what I've been doing is delivering cupcakes to them or having cupcakes delivered or cookies or something that isn't going to take up space in their home because they're in the process of moving. And when you're helping a buyer, a lot of times they're, excited, they're moving into a new place. A lot of times when I'm selling their home, they don't even have a place yet, right? They're like,
Yeah.
they're like stressed about that.
Yeah.
So it's a totally different mindset. And so it depends on who it is, but cupcakes are my favorite go-to. Champagne is always celebratory. If you know that they like that, things like restaurant gift cards or that's always something that people like, hey, let's go to dinner. Here you go.
Yeah.
Although that's
I
not
would,
as personal.
yeah, I totally get that. And it makes perfect sense. I think the last thing when you're moving is last thing you want is another box to have to move. So yeah, I used to do like a celebratory thing, and I still do a bottle of champagne because that's always nice to have. But I've been with the last few, I try to listen to my clients and see some of and just pick up on some of the things that's important to them. Where I knew this particular family absolutely loved to cook. I think right at the start of the year, there was another family, and a big thing for them was their movie room. And they talked about how much they like to sit around as families and watch movies. So I was like, what do you get, the movie family? And they had everything. So it wasn't like, and I wasn't going to buy them a new TV or anything like that.
Right.
Let's not get it twisted.
A
Right.
projector.
Yeah. Yeah. I got Brad Pitt to come over the house and watch a movie with him. No, I got him a popcorn maker, a really cool
That's great.
popcorn maker, like an
Yeah.
old fashioned one with and then some popcorn baskets or whatever the heck you call it,
Yeah.
and they love that too, and that was kind of cool as well. But and now I get disappointed. I want to find something like that for every client, but
Yeah. It's
not every
hard.
client's the same.
My favorite gift that I ever gave, there was a family that the kids were all grown, and they were selling their family home. There were four of them, and they, which is so funny. I just met with another group just like this, but they were all raised in this home and they were selling it. And so I had a front picture of the house
Oh,
framed for each of them so they could have a picture of their family home, to keep with them always. So that was like a really, really heartfelt one that I really feel like hit the spot.
I bet they love that.
They
Yeah, yeah.
did. They
And
were
yeah,
they
when
were
you nail
very
it like
appreciative.
that, yeah, that makes you feel good. That makes them feel good. Get you that referral for the next one. Yeah.
Right. Speaking
That's the
of,
other thing too.
yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just you don't want to go too high. You don't want to give them too great a gift because then when they give that referral, they're going to tell them, "Hey, guess what? Eric got me. He got Brad Pitt to come watch a movie with us." So
That's
be
true.
sure
You
to
got to
ask
keep
him
the
for that.
expectations like realistic, right? But
Yes.
so I referred one of my friends to one of someone on our team, other than you, Eric, a different person, but you too. I give you referrals too. But this
I know.
person specifically wanted to work with, a
Yeah.
woman. So I referred, and at the end of the transaction, she came to me and she's like, I really want to get a gift for my agent, for Carla. I'll just say her name.
Yeah.
And I really want to give her a gift. What should I give? And I said, can I be honest with you? I said, the best gift you can give is a referral and a review. Those 2
100%.
things. We don't need anything. We just sold your home. We just helped you buy a home. But if you like loved the service and you felt like so appreciative, shout our name from the rooftops, hand our business cards out, like, throw us a bone.
Do that review.
Yes.
I don't know about you. Well, I actually do kind of know this about you. It is so hard for me to ask for a review.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that I don't think I'm going to get the answer I want to get. It's more, or maybe that is it. It's just I don't feel comfortable asking for something. I don't feel at the end of this process, it just doesn't roll off the tongue. Hey, by the way, here's a great place to give me a 5-star review. And it's just hard. Do you feel the same way, or am I just a fool?
100%. I know that that's part of whenever you're a business owner, right? And you're growing a business, you need to be able to create that authority, that proof of concept online, because that's what people look at, right?
Mm-hmm.
And reviews are the number way to do that. But it just sometimes feels uncomfortable to me to make the ask. I love it when they just do it, but a lot of times it's not that they don't want to give you a review, it's that they don't even think of it, right? And so you kind of have to bring it to mind sometimes if you want those reviews. The people who are the most successful are making the ask at that.
And the other part of it that I think bothers me too is when you ask for the review,
right?
And now you're waiting for it, and you're waiting for it, and you're waiting for it, and it doesn't come. So it's like, wait, do I have to ask again? And the bottom line is you're just not at the top of mind. I mean, these people have just moved, so they're probably doing a million other things. So yeah, you do have to remind them. You have to nudge them.
Right.
And you have to make it easy for them. Send them the link, that kind of thing. But I know I get in my own head when I ask for the review and it doesn't happen like that. I'm like, oh, is it something I did? Why don't they want to review me? What's going on here? And yeah, it's 9 times out of 10, it's just that they just haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah. They
That's
forgot.
probably part of it.
Yeah, it's not personal. Speaking of all this, I'll talk a little bit briefly about a new program we're doing as a team. For anyone out there who's an agent listening who might, find this helpful. So, referrals, like we were talking about, are so important. They really are how a lot of people can grow their business. And so we're going to launch this program called DDA Premier, where anyone who has given us a referral in the last 5 years or done multiple transactions with us are going to become part of this DDA Premier club, right? This group.
Such a great idea.
Yeah. And they're going to receive quarterly gifts. And not only are they going to receive quarterly gifts, they're going to start getting communications from us and invites to join a Facebook group and try to build some sort of community to teach them, and remind them without us being obnoxious ourselves, right? It's like, oh, part of the program, you want to be in this cool program, send us at least one referral in a calendar year. And so it's a way to kind of get them engaged, teach them the importance of referrals, and reward them for giving them to us. So I'm excited.
It's such a smart idea, and it's so helpful that, it's one of the reasons why I really am so thankful that I'm on this team in particular, and a team in general, because this is the type of thing that you would expect a team to do for you as an agent. A good team, along with the training that we get, along with some of the guidance and the support that we get from the team. It's programs like this that I'm sure there's other groups out there that are doing it, but it really does set us apart, the way that we put it together, the fact that it's kind of on rails, and all you have to do is, as the agent, is do your small part to input the information that you need so that the team can do the rest. And the gifts are fantastic. The ideas, the the touches that these folks are going to get is just so it's so helpful as an agent who's just so busy doing so much other stuff. This is one of those things that can often be pushed to the back burner where it really shouldn't be. I mean, this
Right.
is how we make our money. These referrals are so important. I know over the last probably 7 years of doing this, I would say the lion's share of my business comes from referrals, and it could even be better because I could be doing a better job at it. And hopefully this will, who knows, maybe I'll do 150 transactions next year because of this.
Hey, that sounds like a plan. I like that plan. Um,
It sounds like a
yeah,
pipe dream, but sure.
it's funny because before we just launched this program. We're about to send our first gifts to the members of the DDA Premier. I did a lot of research and I actually met with a couple of different team leaders who are doing these sort of programs. And it was very interesting because a lot of these teams that were doing this were charging their agents something for it, right? And it was like, so I really love the fact that our team is supporting us in such a way that, unlike other teams, I just think it's such a benefit for us and for all of our clients that, this is part of how much they value us and what we can do, that they are supporting us in that way to help grow the business for everyone. One, if they can help support us to grow, then they're going to grow, right? It's a smart, plan, I think.
It's that metaphor that I learned from a hockey coach. The power of the pack is the wolf, and the power of the wolf is the pack.
Yes.
I hope I said that right.
I don't know, but it sounds really good.
Take it.
I like
No,
it.
having, each agent is an individual on the team, but it takes that team of agents for the team to really be successful. And we get so much in return from the team because of the effort that we put forth. And I am so thankful to be on this particular team because I know all the work that, the folks like yourself at that higher level are doing to make sure that we're all taken care of. And I'm not saying this to blow smoke in your direction or to make our team sound like it's, the greatest team out there. But really, I do not think I would be as successful as an agent if I was not with Debbie Doğrul Associates, only because the model that was set from Debbie on how to train and how to work your business, I don't see anybody else really doing it that way. Maybe they're out there, but when I was starting, I couldn't find them. And I just love the way we've progressed too. Over the years, over the 10 years I've been here, we started at a pretty high level, I think. But my God, over the last 4 years, we've just blown it all out. We're in the stratosphere now. And I love it.
It's amazing how once you get the right people in place and everyone is committed to the same goal, and we have this mindset of abundance and like we're vulnerable when we need to be vulnerable. And that's what I love about the team leads, is like we're all on this journey together, and we're all the wolves in the pack. I love the metaphor.
Be a wolf. Wow, that was weird. I don't know what's gotten into me.
Cut it.
I'm going
Cut
crazy.
It. No, I'm kidding. Oh, no. You said something earlier that kind of stood out to me, and when you were talking about going with your clients at the 800,000 mark and realizing like you were then actually looking at homes and competing with homes at what, 900, right? Is that what you said? So you had to up your search criteria to really get to where you wanted. And I think that's just such an important point for this market right now. So can you explain a little more, like, how do you explain it to your buyers about, like, just because something's listed at like $799, that doesn't mean that it's in your price range if 800 is your cap. Right?
No, it really is tough because and I think our market is so weird and different. You can't really say that Springfield is the hottest market in Northern Virginia, but I can say that Carly Parkway in Springfield might be the most active market in Northern Virginia. And our market is so nuanced where, it could be one block is appreciating at 20%, where the block right next door isn't appreciating at all. You know what I mean? So it is really hard. And it's when you're out there looking with your clients and you're going from home to home and you're starting to see what they're getting attracted to, what's really kind of pushing their buttons. And you're seeing what isn't pushing their buttons as well. I mean, with this particular family, when we were looking at homes in that 750 to 850 range, the quality that you were getting, and when quality, I mean, just what type of fit and finish, and not only, that, also where we were seeing the homes that we were liking at that price point just weren't fitting with the schools that they were looking for. So you have to have that conversation at that point where, okay, we're looking at 800. We're not seeing the homes that you want to see, but here's, with your criteria, here's the price point that's fitting, that's checking all those boxes. And they have to have that moment where they really evaluate, what exactly they are looking for and what they're willing to do. That going from 800 to $1.2 million isn't normal. I'm not going to say that that's what everyone has to do. But you do have to adjust how you look and the mindset. You're right. Because if your max is 800, and that's what your pre-approval letter is for, and all you're looking at are homes at 800 in our market, you're not going to be successful with anything that's fresh. You're going to have to look at homes that have 14, 30 days on market. And those are few and far between. And those are probably not the nicest homes anyway. So maybe you got to ratchet it down and start looking at that 700 price point, because chances are first weekend a house is on the market at 700. It's probably going to sell somewhere between 730 and 825.
Wow.
It all depends on the quality of the home.
Right.
And now I've had the exact opposite happen too, which is pretty sad, but we're still trying to figure it out, where I've got a couple that's looking to relocate here to be closer to their brand new grandbaby. And they were looking at that $1 million price point. So we found a house that had been on the market for 2 weeks, and we came in right at, their asking price. But inevitably, when you find a house that you like, someone else likes it too. And someone went to I think it was just under 1.1. And at the time, my clients weren't ready to do that. Right. They did not want to move up, especially on a house that had 2 weeks on market. So as we looked a little bit longer, we actually moved our search down and looked for a smaller house on the price point. But the smaller houses were selling at that same $1 million price. The $850,000 house that we looked at, Jamie's house, one of our colleagues, sold for 1.3, something like it sold for some ungodly number.
So crazy.
Crazy. And it had a visceral effect on my clients. That they're writing at houses that they've already come down in their expectation as far as quality goes by going from $1 million to 850, but the 850 house is selling higher.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
So it was they really... actually, we had a few conversations after that, and they were like, well, maybe we just don't need to buy. And we had to pull back, and I let them kind of see where the market was going before I pushed them to get back out there again. And once we saw that, and inventory has picked up quite a bit since then. Once we saw that inventory is picked up, and that we were able to look at some days on market, how they were, not everything was selling in those first 4 days, and some things were lasting, and not everything was getting 12 offers, that they were ready to go back out there again. And this is the first weekend we're actually looking again after all that happened. So it can go either way. And it's tricky. It's very tricky. And each person is different, and each person has a different reaction to that type of situation. And I know I feel like I'm rambling now, but the bottom line is you
it's an important, it's what people are talking about right now. I mean, it's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
That's
And if as far as what you need to do as an agent is you just need to listen to your client.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line. You need to listen how they're reacting to what you're telling them, and do your best to decipher that information you're getting and show them the things that are going to get them to react. I mean
yeah. And on
that's the bottom line.
and on the listing side, the conversations I'm having are really, when we talk about a strategic pricing strategy, like a pricing strategy, right? So how we're going to price the home. Really, what I like to say is, your pricing strategy is actually a part of your marketing strategy, right?
Yeah.
Because it's how you're going to get people in the door. And if you price your home way over because you feel like the market can bear it, it's going to backfire on you and no one's going to come. But if you price it at or slightly under, all of a sudden you're going to have a bigger pool of people coming and more eyes on it, increase your odds of getting multiple offers and pushing the price. So it's a little counterintuitive from the people who are like, thinking of it like a car, right? It's like, I'm going to price it here and then I can negotiate
And
them
negotiate it
down,
down. Yeah,
right?
no.
It doesn't
Yeah.
work that way. And so explaining that to clients and explaining to clients that, if we're going to price something at $7.99, the people that are going to come, more than likely, their cap is $8.50, right?
Yeah.
To $9. So
Mhm.
when we're doing our looking around at what our competition is, we can't just look at what is closed at $7.99. We got to look at what closed in that range. And not necessarily, that doesn't mean necessarily that we're going to get there in price, right? It doesn't mean like a guarantee. If I list at $7.99, I'm going to get $8.75. That's not what
Yeah.
I'm saying. I'm saying that your competition isn't the $6.50 to $7 range. Your competition of how you prepare the home and what's out there and what people are vying for is the higher side. So, just looking at all of that, it's just very interesting, and it changes throughout the year depending on the market.
That's where the rubber hits the road. I'm full of metaphors today. The way that really good agents are able to kind of ride that roller coaster, because at the start of this year, what I was seeing, the houses that were successful are the houses that came in probably at 90% of value. You know what I mean? Those are the ones that went crazy. Those ones that, pushed it and came in, probably listened to their sellers and let their sellers dictate their price,
Yeah.
or overpromised on price. Those are the ones that didn't go crazy. They had really little margins over the original price. But now I'm kind of seeing it kind of come back a little bit, where the houses that it's like a few closings happened, so now everyone's been trained that values have gone up.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, is
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. It's so we were going on. So when in the very beginning of the year, when I'd go and I'd do comps, we were looking at where the spring 22 prices were starting, not where they ended, right?
Mhm.
So if something started at 750 and it ended at 850, we weren't going to price it at 850. We were looking at that 750, even though there were homes last year that sold. And what we realized, oh no, we're not maybe 850, but we're definitely not 750, because after the first month or two, things were closing higher. So now when we go to comp and put on the market, we're not going to go 750, we're going to go 800, because those are the most recent comps. And so now it's a little more accurate. And
Yeah. Is that better for the seller now? Like, I don't know. Do we
well,
still, I mean, you're still pricing it a little below value though,
right?
right?
It's
You're
still
still
not
going
at
at
it.
like that
We're not
90.
pricing it at the 850 from last spring, right? So there's still potentially room. Someone could look there and still, but we're not going to price it at the starting price of last spring now. Now we're pricing it at the ending price of a month ago. So
So,
does that make
well,
sense? It's just
Yeah,
like,
it makes perfect sense. I was going to ask you, from your experience now of this first quarter, how have you seen the offers go? Are have the offers slowed down a little bit as they from where they were back in February? Or is it still the same? Are you still getting multiple offers on all your homes?
yeah, I mean, I think we're still as a group getting multiple offers on most of the homes as long as they look great. Um, the ones that don't look so great are still getting offers, but maybe not as many. I am noticing less numbers on the showings, right? So a lot of people going through open houses still, tons of people going through open houses, but crazy numbers. But in terms of like the confirmed showings with your agent, I'm definitely seeing a slowdown on that. And I don't know if it's that more people are just going to the open houses because we're offering more of them as a team right now. Because we're doing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I mean, we're
Yeah.
doing a lot of open houses. So maybe clients are like, I don't need to bother you. I'll just go see it. And then if I
No,
like it, I'll bring you.
and what surprised me about our open houses, I've done some Fridays, but mostly Saturdays and Sundays. The Friday open houses that I've done have been pretty crowded.
Yeah.
I was really surprised. I mean, I had one Friday, it was a pretty ugly day too. It was like rainy and cold, but the open house was a zoo. It was an absolute zoo. Now,
Yeah.
this was again a couple of weeks ago when everything was super nuts. But then my Saturday and Sunday open houses weren't nearly as busy as that one Friday. It was just weird the way it all played
Yeah,
out.
that's interesting. I think, to me, it like psychologically makes sense. If I'm in the market for a home, and this is just anecdotally,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
If for me, if I'm in the market for a home and I set a tour with my agent for Saturday, Sunday, right? But I saw some interesting homes come on the market. I might be like, I'm not going to bug my agent for that, but let me just go visit the Friday one on my own. And then, I don't need to do open houses Saturday, Sunday because I'm going with my agent, but I'll go on the Friday. So, I mean, does that make sense? Like
No,
psychologically?
it makes perfect sense. You said something though, and I don't want to say the wrong thing. How can I say this? When we're at an open house, when I'm working at an open house and I hear someone say, "Well, I don't want to bug my agent," that it's almost like blood in the water. I'm like,
Yes, you're right. That's true. That's
I'm
true.
like, well, I don't know about your agent, but absolutely bug me. Give me a call. I'll be there. No, yeah, that you get that a lot. You really do. You hear that often that yeah, I just wanted to go out and see it by myself before I bothered my agent, you know. And yeah, the common refrain to that is, well, I don't work that way. Please bother me. I want to know
Yeah.
about everything you want to
Well,
see.
why
Chances
why don't
are
you feel comfortable bugging your agent? What is let you feel like that's an issue?
I probably said that a couple of times too.
Yeah.
Hey,
Exactly.
so we've been doing this now for over 30 minutes and we're trying to be more respectful of people's time. So we probably need to wrap this up pretty quickly. I just wanted to talk to you. We had daylight savings a week ago. How's it been? How are you dealing with it?
Maybe that's why we're so tired. Ah,
Right?
light bulb. No, I mean it's good. I love the fact that it's light, light later. I think that for me, that's what I need. I hate when it's dark by like 5:30 p.m.,
Oh,
6 p.m. It's just the worst. Um, any extra
sorry,
daylight we can
farmers.
get.
Sorry,
Yes.
farmers. We're keeping the lights on longer. Sorry, they don't come out
Yeah.
early.
I am all for whatever they need to do to get rid of this daylight savings thing. And
I know.
hopefully
I've
soon.
always said I'm going to run for president and I'm going to have two platforms. One is daylight savings. I'm going to get rid of it. And two, no more ATM fees.
I think I've heard this before.
Oh, have I said it already? Damn it.
No, but I think that's a great, and I will vote for you 10 times over because both of those things are very important issues in
Right.
life. Yes.
Well, listen, folks, if you want to vote for me, please put it on your calendar next presidential election. But in the meantime, go ahead, like and subscribe. Give us 5 stars if you think that my programs for the country are great and you don't want ATM fees or you want to keep daylight savings. Please give us a 5-star vote. Come back and check back. You know what? I think we've only got one more show for this season, Nicole.
That's right. The wolves are gonna take a little hibernation.
Right?
Do wolves
And
hibernate? I don't
are we
know.
gonna have a special guest?
We might. I'm not sure. I think
Is
they've
it
been
Brad Pitt?
teasing it. I don't know who it is. If we're having it, it's a surprise. So
All right.
we'll see.
Well, this has been wonderful. Thank you, Nicole. Please go take a nap. I'm gonna take one.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll see you guys here next week.
Yeah.
For what?
Real agents of fun.
Real agents of
Change.
something else.
Change. And real agents of
Real estate.
date. Bye-bye.
Bye.